Hey there, fans of Brotherly Love Wrestling. It is I, Vic Delicious.
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City.
Hey there, Brotherly Love Wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready?
No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome everybody to Brotherly Love Wrestling. On the show this week, we will start out like we ended last week, talking about the bloodline, since we kind of skipped out and didn't really give it its due last week. So we'll start this week fresh off.
We got to live up to our promises, right?
Yeah. We say something, we got to live up to it. So
we got to be a freaking credible show. In a world of where nobody is credible, we have to take the bull by the horns and really just deliver on what we say.
Yes. So
that's the American way.
Going into this Saturday, we got Money in the Bank, July 1st, 3 p.m. Eastern, because they are in the UK.
So that's 8 p.m. their time.
Yeah.
It's a 5-hour difference. It's not bad that it's only 5 hours. I would think it would be more. For some reason, like when you go that far away, I feel like it would be like fucking like 12 hours of difference. Imagine that.
No.
We'd be watching at 8 a.m.
Yeah, no.
That's like what they do at Saudi, isn't it? No.
Saudi's at 12. Usually,
is it?
Yeah, 12 or 1, depending, yeah. So
I'm just trying to think, because when they go over there, when the Jaguars go over there, it's usually a 9:30 game.
Yes.
But I'm getting off top.
Yeah, but they're usually a 1 o'clock, you know what I mean, a 1 o'clock start there, so it's 9 a.m. here.
Hold on, I apologize. I took the wrong part of what we were saying, and I went with that.
Yeah.
Instead of going with the actual topic of the show, which would be wrestling.
And you never do that. I mean, that's something new.
Maybe I'm just being more mindful. All right there, Street Profit.
All right. Need a different type drink tonight. Water bottle wasn't doing it.
No, he went with vodka.
Actually, no, it's just straight up lemonade. It's a school night. I ain't drinking vodka tonight.
Happy lemonade.
Yeah.
Just bought it from the kid that was selling it across the street.
The funny thing is, I did see a kid selling with a table out selling lemonade. I was like, oh man, I should really buy some lemonade. But I went to Wawa and I got the big, like, used to be $1.49 lemonade.
You went to the big corporation.
Yeah.
Corporate Larry. Couldn't help the little guy out. Go to the big juggernaut Wawa and buy that.
Yeah, but that's only one glass. This is going to get me 4, 5, 6 cups of lemonade.
Yes, but what you're neglecting is you would have helped a young man start a business.
Nah, his life. That's a more valuable lesson. Life's not fair.
Every week, more and more, you become the heel. I'm exposing you for truly who you are. I was the good guy. I was the good guy all along. They just didn't know
it. Anyway,
be the greatest heel turn in podcast history. The big lovable Larry turning heel, saying "fuck them kids." Dude, that's basically what you said. Bigger heel than Roman Reigns. There we go. I brought it back. We're back. Go ahead. Go. I've given you the opener.
Roman and Solo versus the Usos continuation of one of the best storylines in the history of pro wrestling unfolding right in front of our eyes.
Dude, it's really crazy how when you look back at like storylines as a whole,
mm-hmm.
like you have great feuds in wrestling. You have Rock Austin, Austin McMahon, Michaels, Bret Hart,
Taker Mankind,
Taker Kane. You got Hardys and
Dudley's
Edge Christian. Yeah, you got that. You got those are good feuds, but when you think of a storyline, like an elongated storyline, like none of that era, my favorite era, our favorite era, the Attitude Era. I mean,
I think Rock Austin is the only one that would stand out because that was so intertwined for, you know what I mean? But it wasn't this long.
I think Vince Austin too.
Or that's what I'm sorry, I said Rock Austin. That's what I meant, Vince Austin.
Yeah, I think Vince Austin was, I mean, you could still run that if you could still somehow run that today, I think. It would still be entertaining.
Yeah, and relatable.
But, I mean, other than that, like longevity of storyline, like none of them really hit like this one. This one is what the kids say, hit different. This one hits differently. See, I'm hip to the kids. This is the face turn that they all didn't think they needed. And it still might not. But yeah, I mean, you think of 3 years, going on 3 years of since the formation and when, what was it? Jimmy threw in the towel for Jay in the Roman match, or he quit for him basically because he knew he wasn't going to quit.
I don't know where their what the starting point of this is. I know it's August from what they keep saying, but I don't know what that point is. Is it the night you saw Heyman sitting next to Roman? Is that the beginning? Is it like, so I don't know. I guess really would have to look to see what the date is and what they're marking as the beginning of this story.
I think either way, no matter what you mark as the story, just the turns and whatnot that it has happened, and we don't even know if this is the end or if this is just another chapter. So I thought it would have been over after the Sammy win, after the Cody win. Like I thought, and it still might go that way, that it's going to lead back to Cody versus Roman. But at this point, I'm almost like, I kind of wanted to end almost like Jay versus Roman. I mean, it's so weird because I wanted Sammy to beat Roman because I thought that story was amazing. And then I wanted Cody to beat Roman because I thought that made sense. But now they kind of keep throwing, now Jay makes sense to beat Roman, to be that, like, it's funny how this, and I mean, it hasn't happened yet, obviously. No one has beaten him, and they keep putting, like, really popular and over, and they keep making these other stars. The problem is that after they face Roman and they lose to Roman, their star power kind of goes back down,
diminishes.
Yeah, it's almost like, who's going to be the one that finally beats? Because if it is Cody, and Cody takes like some sort of crazy journey to get back there, where he actually earns it again, and then you kind of like, all right, you know he's going to beat him this time. You hope he's going to beat him this time. But if he does, by not beating him the first time, does it take away? They'd have to really build Cody up to be that megastar again. Like, because it felt like Sammy had everyone. And if he would have won, but I mean, do they have someone back? I mean, I'm sure they have someone back there, or a bunch of people back there that are like, all right, so if this person that beats the guy that held it for over 1,000 days beats him, and then that people lose interest real quick, what did we really do? We didn't really create any new star.
Yeah.
So who the hell is that going to be?
I think
is there enough in the back that says Jey Uso beats Roman Reigns and goes on to like mega superstardom, because that's what they're going to need if he goes on a shorter schedule. I mean, you got Rollins. You got to run Rollins to death?
No, I mean, you have Rollins. You have guys that are slowly starting to pick up momentum. You have guys like LA Knight that everybody thinks and wants to win Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I think again, we talked about this within the last couple years now, that WWE has gone away from the transcendent superstars, the ones that are, I mean, The Rock
household names.
The Rock, Cena, Hogan, Austin, like superstars. And when they, as we said that, Roman has become this giant megastar for WWE. And
yeah, but that's only one.
Right. No. Right. But I feel that, Jay has been kind of moved up in the pecking order when it comes to that, because I think Cody, look, we said when Cody lost, and we watched that Dusty documentary, that hard times, that he's going to, this next year is going to be his hard times. And he got his ass whooped by Brock. You know what I mean? Hard times. He broke his arm. Hard times. Like, people are even saying that he might actually get screwed on Saturday and lose to Dominic Mysterio. I don't buy that, but I mean, what's more hard times than losing to Dominic?
Has a broken arm?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has the cast thing on, and they're alluding to it as broken. They keep saying, like, it's not broken. Put it that way. Like, it's not full cast, like, broken. But he's keeping the gimmick on in social media pictures and Instagrams with his wife and stuff like that. But
Brock broke his arm. Didn't we say this? Dusty got a broken leg.
Broken leg, yeah. That's what we said.
Cody's got a broken arm.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Doesn't that make sense, though? It doesn't actually help Dominic Mysterio. And we know Mysterio is not going to win by, like, a legitimate decision. Like, something's going to happen. But wouldn't that actually work?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that the hard times that
what is it? Wait, what is it? Lose. What is Cody versus Dominic for what? A spot in Money in the Bank?
No, just straight up.
Just straight up?
Yeah.
And that's at the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's got Cody losing written all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why people are saying it.
Or it should. More hard times. I mean, I get it. Well, thankfully, this isn't AEW where the win-loss records don't count.
No, don't matter.
No, you just have to make yourself go.
Although they don't matter in AEW either. So, I mean,
you have to go from undesirable to undeniable. And as we all know, Cody is that man to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He's already done it. So, I mean, but Jay could be that guy.
What do we got coming up? We got SummerSlam's the next big one, right? After Money in the Bank?
Yes.
So let's do a little back and forth for the viewing and listening audience. Say LA Knight wins Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Does he go after Rollins? Is that the one that makes the most sense?
I kind of want it to be. I just want to see the promos between LA Knight and Rollins.
So you have LA Knight do a successful cash in on Rollins and just run it that way? Not even have him chase Roman? So say SummerSlam. Say SummerSlam comes around. All right, I'm still going.
Go ahead.
Keep whatever you were going to say in the helm.
I got you.
So you have SummerSlam come around. And you need a big main event, and Roman's going to defend.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jay versus Roman at SummerSlam.
Okay.
It's not an inkling that anybody could cash in there. Do they hold this cash in all for a while? and hope that LA Knight can stay relevant until cash in, because they tried to do that with Otis, and that fucking completely. That was.
But you're talking a guy that can't talk his way out of a paper bag. Like LA Knight.
Like they really thought that was a good idea. His gimmick was literally doing the worm.
Yeah, it was Scotty Too Hottie, but with a big belly,
with 600 extra pounds on him.
Yeah, I think Otis is more entertaining now than he was then.
Shoes, please.
But yeah, I can, of course. Yeah, I think you hold on to it a little bit longer if you're going to do that. I think the story that I'm looking for, do I think it's going to happen right like this Saturday? No, I think it's coming. Is the Solo turn?
You think Solo turns on Roman?
I think that's how you're break, because this chapter that we are going through right now of this story is the demise and the falling of the bloodline. Right? You already lost 2 of the main members. You already lost Jimmy, and you already lost Jay.
2 of 4. Well, you actually lost 3 of 5.
Well, yeah, it's Sami Zayn, but he was honorary. He wasn't actually bloodline.
Hey man, he was a huge part of that, though.
I'm not saying he's not, but I'm just saying. So I think this is what they've been building for, because he's been so silent. He's been that silent killer. He's been the enforcer. And there was even, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, something within the last month, there was a point where they were doing a promo and Roman turned around and Solo was behind him. And he turned around to like storm out of the ring. And he shoulder bumped Solo. And he kind of back and like put his hands up like not scared, but like my bad, sort of, without saying a word, and then walked out of the ring. It was like that little bit. You know what I mean? That's the thing they do with their storytelling. It's just little hints here and there. Like that little thing right there is that little tease to whenever they want to do it, is that little look. Like even Roman kind of knows how dangerous this guy is. And now you're putting him up against his 2 older brothers with Roman. I think it's coming. Now, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say I think it's going to happen on Saturday, although I would love to see it happen on Saturday, but I think it's a little too early. I wouldn't mind it, but I think it's early.
All right, well, here, let me play devil's advocate and go to WWE's forte.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the match. What do they care about?
The finish.
The moment.
Yeah.
They're all about creating moments.
That's true.
Crowd noise.
Yeah.
Where are they going to be at?
Hotel.
Probably one of the loudest places they're going to be at in a long time. I mean, you're going to get 2 things. 2 things can make that crowd go absolutely a face turn or heel turn or a cash in. Like title changes are one thing, but a cash in or a fucking heel turn, face turn would be also monumental. And you know they like going out with a bang on their main events and really going for that crowd reaction. So yeah. I wouldn't put it past them to do it this weekend. I do think it's a good time, but it doesn't elongate the story enough.
That's the only reason that I'm reserved in saying it, because I feel like there's still stuff you can build in as far as dissension among Solo and Roman.
But I think we're thinking about, we forgot the last piece, the last person to turn on him. Paul. I think if you have Solo...
Paul doesn't turn until the gold goes away.
Yes, but that, I don't know if Solo is capable enough to carrying this storyline, but who I know is more than capable to carry a potential tease to leaving as well as Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Solo turn quickly, now you can build Heyman while Cody's doing his one thing, or now you have Heyman second guessing. Because remember when he was second guessing Brock, or when he was playing both sides of Brock and
Roman? Yeah.
Yeah. So he's more than capable of doing that. I don't know if Solo is. I mean, having Heyman helps the cause, But why not just have that promo? Why not? And I honestly I don't know how it goes from there. Like Paul getting ready to turn on Roman, Roman having to face, say, each member of the bloodline leading up to, you would hope, would be Jay versus Roman. Like him just barely beating Jimmy, him just barely beating Solo, and then finally like have Heyman tease, like accidentally like help, but Roman still wins, like type shit. And then finally you get to Jay versus Roman, and I don't know, maybe you have Heyman accidentally slip up and Jay win.
I don't know. I think I'm surprised that they did this so quickly as far as taking the Usos out, because you have, I mean, right around the corner, another 3 months, and you're on the road to Survivor Series. Now, obviously, Roman is Roman, so that doesn't affect the title match ever. But when you have such a strong faction,
yeah, but their Survivor Series hasn't been that though. I mean, unless they're going to do War Games,
which they did last year.
Yeah, but they can build other factions to get to War Games.
Yeah, but the Bloodline was such like the group. You know what I mean? So
well, you still have Imperium.
True.
You still have factions like that that are more capable of being
Imperium. You have Judgment Day. You have the LWO. I mean, you have factions. I get it, but
you have options. I mean, the Bloodline is they already did it. They already told the story in the cage. They don't need to do it again. True. They don't, and they shouldn't, because then it gets started to get watered down. They don't need the cage again.
Yeah.
They need to be. They might not even be at Survivor Series, and I'd be okay with that. I know Survivor Series is like one of your big four, but when it comes to what they're doing now with it, if they're going to continue to do War Games, then you don't need a big fancy storyline for it. It's War Games. You put two people, two factions, bad blood, give them a little bit of hatred toward each other, and let them go. Just make sure you got the right people. You could end up with like what if you get like Gargano, Ciampa, Dexter Lumis, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, if the end game for WrestleMania 40 is Roman Cody 2, if that's the end game, which a lot of people have been saying since Cody lost, if that's it, that's the only reason why I say I hope kind of it doesn't happen. The Solo leaving doesn't happen Saturday, because I wanted to have some legs. I want this to get there organically and stretch out a little bit and give some room.
All right. Well,
build.
How about this? How about this? You got, I mean, March, April will be here before we know it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do what you can on the other side with the other title. You have to make it as interesting as possible, because the only thing that's gonna derail that is Royal Rumble, because Royal Rumble gets to pick who they want to face. So you have to keep that title on the other end as legitimate as possible. However, because I don't think Cody should win back-to-back Royal Rumbles. I mean, is it possible? Sure, but I think that's kind of that's the cheap way to do it. I think Cody earns his spot against Roman in a different way, but to get there, hoping that everything falls into place on the other side, and you have a good champion and a good main event on the other side for that other title, the world title.
Yeah.
And I think what you do is you do the Solo thing this weekend, then you do what I said, and you have Heyman, you have Roman has to go through, because this could be 3 separate pay-per-views. It could be Roman versus Solo, Roman versus Jimmy, and Roman versus Jay, and they all just come close. But in coming close, Heyman does something in each match that almost costs Roman. And then, I mean, that last, on the other end, Cody's still doing the hard time shit. Roman's beating everybody. Him and Heyman are having a fallout. By that time, you got 3 months. So August or July. No, it happens. This is the July pay-per-view. So you got August, September, November. That takes you to Survivor Series. They're not even in it.
What about October?
What did I say?
August, September, November.
Okay, so August, September, October.
Yeah.
It gives you, I mean, maybe you have someone else. You could do the WWE thing and have one of them face them again because of Roman beats him again, and just I mean, it doesn't do anything for the Usos or anybody who's going against him. But I mean, if your end game is Cody, you're kind of just laying people to waste at this point.
Yeah.
So whoever faces Roman ain't beating him, and he's just building strength. He's getting stronger and stronger to where Cody finally beats him and now has conquered the most powerful WWE champion of all time. Excuse me. So that's how I would elongate that. Just you can still keep the bloodline somewhat involved with Roman until it gets closer to prepping for Mania.
Yeah, I see that. So I do want to because I obviously Forbidden Door was this past weekend, so I kind of want to touch on that. But I know obviously, and you've already said it, who you want for Money in the Bank. So we'll go men's and women's. Men's, obviously, I assume it's LA Knight.
Yeah.
Women's, do you have a pick for the women?
Give me the contestants. Give me the competitors.
Vega, Lynch, Stark, Bailey, Sky, Stratus.
Give me the names again.
Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bailey, Io Sky, and Trish Stratus.
And as of now, who are the champions?
Oh, who are the? Well, I mean, yeah,
it's Rhea
and Asuka.
None of them really make all that much sense unless I'm thinking. Now I'm just going out on a limb here, but I'm thinking Trish.
Okay.
I think you could do the most with that.
Trish wins, and who does she cash in on?
I
mean, assuming that she cashes in, but just picking one. Do you think she cashes on Rhea or cashes on Asuka?
Do we have an Asuka versus Charlotte match coming up?
Not on this card.
But we do have that coming up? Or did that already happen? See?
No.
Because I know it's going to be, it's supposed to be Asuka Charlotte, right?
I think Asuka Charlotte is probably a SummerSlam thing.
No, they're going to run that for that long? No way. I think it already happened. Did we fact check this?
I really don't want to go into SmackDown results and look that far back.
All right, so here.
Look over the last couple of weeks.
Either way, she cashes in on Asuka.
Okay. And LA Knight? Are you sending him to Rollins?
Yeah, I'm sending him to Rollins. But because he's so good on the mic, I'm having him go after both until he cashes in. But when he cashes in, I don't want him to just solely focus on Rollins right away. I want him to focus on both of them because that plays into the bloodline storyline as well. Because if he's got to worry about getting cashed in on, then that just adds another good element to his character.
Agreed. Yeah, I like that too. I like both.
That's the main thing that I'm focusing on. I don't know. I just think Trish wins another title. Who does she face? It doesn't matter. Let it be the Baileys or Becky's or Charlotte's.
So I agree with LA Knight. I think he's, again, talk about undeniable. I think he has to be the undeniable pick. Of course, they could go with a guy like Damian Priest, who's been pretty up there recently in the eyes of WWE. They've been featuring him a lot. Obviously, got a World Heavyweight Championship match against Rollins. He's really, since probably the Bad Bunny match, the Bad Bunny's first match. I think he would be a dark horse behind LA Knight. I think Vince is what's the word I'm looking for?
Creamed his pants. It's more than one word. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not quite the word I was thinking of.
Is it along those lines?
No, but like he loves sticking it to the fans. So I could see him hearing all the talk about how everyone thinks LA Knight's going to win, and him completely just no. You know what? Let's have that Priest guy win, like just because. But I
mean, no, I would kind of not like that.
A lot of people would. You know what I mean? So that's the point. But
yeah, but if he does that, do they run the risk of that whole debacle with fucking how they had to take the title off of Otis and give it to Miz because they needed someone that could actually fucking do something with the? Do they? I mean, Priest.
Well, Priest can though. That's the difference.
Much more capable than Otis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, dude, honestly, and this will never happen, but if you want, you got to bring back some sort of authority. The authority fucking angles, they always get people over to like insane superstardom, especially if you want to like create like a fucking really hated heel.
Yeah.
So, like if you put Priest, let's say fucking Vince came back or fucking Shane came back and they just took him out of Judgment Day and they just made him the guy, like the fucking self-appointed guy, but not like the self-appointed guy like, oh, we're going to push him as a babyface until he gets over. Not that shit, but literally the Triple H to Seth Rollins.
I mean, you could do it. It obviously works no matter what.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I think that would like just legitimize him right away. Just him being with like, because if he's the Money in the Bank holder, he's kind of the top dog in fucking Judgment Day, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, with the exception of Finn beating Rollins, but I don't see Finn beating Rollins on Saturday either. I think it's going to be an amazing match. Probably match of the night.
Well, it definitely has the potential to be match of the night. Although I am very interested to see Paul and Ricochet with ladders.
Yes. Yeah. I think everyone's expecting some kind of ladder-to-ladder spot somewhere between Logan and Ricochet.
It's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you have obviously the two
Get to your door that's forbidden, God damn it.
So, yeah, I mean, other than that, they're the major – we touched on the major ones. I mean, Gunther and Riddle is I know we had watched this one match that these guys had before WWE, and it was Riddle and Walter at OTT in Ireland, and that match was phenomenal. You remember watching that match?
Yeah, I think you're probably going to get something along the lines.
That's the only thing. I think that's probably the most sneaky good match that people have never seen is Riddle and Gunther. I think. Yeah,
but you're over across the pond, so they probably have seen it.
Well, I'm saying WWE audience as far as watching. Yeah, granted, overseas, I agree. They are more educated with those style matches anyway. But
they're gonna be creaming themselves. Eggie's gonna have a raging semi.
But yes, Gunther Riddle I think is underrated as far as expectations go. So I think that could be a really sneaky good match. But I mean the whole card again, like we said before, over and over. WWE recently has delivered on pay-per-view. So
you say recently, but it's been for a while now.
Yeah, it's about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, about a year. So speaking of good pay-per-views and delivering, AEW on Sunday had Forbidden Door New Japan versus AEW. Basically,
Gonna be honest, I only caught a little bit of clips and results.
So, I went back last night and I watched Forbidden Door because obviously we were out at Fight Pro Sunday night. Didn't get a chance to watch it live, so I watched it yesterday and watched majority. I skipped around a little bit. Watched the MJF match, was him and Tanahashi, which was really good. Obviously, of course he cheated to win, which he should have. That's MJF. Didn't watch the Punk match. Didn't need to. Watch the Elite versus BCC, which was
how was that?
It was good. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was what you would expect the Elite and BCC to put on. A lot of really physical, like Claudio and Eddie going at it were pretty cool. Eddie and Mox were pretty good.
These are all throwbacks. These are like
so like there was a lot of good spots as well. Obviously, I mean, we all know what the Young Bucks can do in the ring. They were the Young Bucks. They look great. Of course, the Elite went over. It was what it was. It was good.
I wouldn't have thought that was, of course, the Elite went over. I would have thought BCC would have went over.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of had a feeling, but that was really good.
That continues the story, right?
Yeah,
with the Elite winning.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did catch a little bit of the Naito, Sting, and Darby versus Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki. That was more. There was like a couple funny spots in there. Like they did the pose, the sex god pose, but with Suzuki, which was pretty funny. But I mean, it was all right. It wasn't great. It was good.
It was more there for cheap pops.
And then I said, like, I knew what I was getting into, and then I settled into Ospreay and Omega, and I was like, all right, this is like the other ones. I was on my phone a little bit. I wasn't really, but Omega Ospreay, I locked in.
You knew what you wanted to pay attention to. You saw the combatants.
It was.
It was a New Japan style match.
Yeah, and it was better than their Wrestle Kingdom match in January. Like, it really was. It trumps it. I didn't think it was going to be able to, and it did. And that spot where he dropped Kenny on his head was ridiculous. But there was tons.
Ridiculous and what? Like, it's not necessary, though.
I understand it's not necessary, but that's what it is. You go in knowing they're going to do those spots. You know they're going to do those spots. It's not like it's all of a sudden, oh my God, they did that. Like, no, of course they did. If anyone has ever seen these two wrestle New Japan, this is what they do. So, like, I mean, yeah, I knew it was coming because it was all over in social media, but still.
Here's the thing, though. I go back to Owen fucking Austin. Breaking, like, dude, I get it. It's not that era. And if you lose in Austin, I mean, you do have other people that are going to pick the pieces up. But, I mean, you drop Omega on his head and he fucking snaps his neck, you're kind of screwed.
Well, yeah, of course you are. But he's obviously willing to do it. And Ospreay's obviously willing to take just as much risk with his body as Omega is with his body. Because there were crazy, insane spots that he did too. The whole thing, both of them were bloody messes in this match, and still
Moxley was jealous.
Yeah, Moxley was definitely jealous, but it was very, very well done. Match of the year candidate easily, hands down. And then I had to take a breath. Yeah, because then I had Danielson and Okada, and that was more of a strong style mixed with catch wrestling. So I think
is that why you think people weren't? Do you think people were worn out and they were just they were comparing it to what they just saw?
Definitely worn out, and yes, comparing.
You can't compare it though. It's two different
you have to go into that match knowing what it's going to be from the start. Like you
almost have
can't
to.
compare.
You almost have to not watch those matches back to back.
I agree.
You almost need like a separate day to watch those matches to appreciate them for how different they are and what you're actually seeing.
Well, but it was, and to your point of the different day thing, it was nice to watch it because of the difference. Because I just watched this one first, yeah, and then don't get me wrong, there were some big spots in the. I mean, not that big, but there were some good spots in Bryan and Okada as well.
It made sense.
Yeah, it was just, and I gotta tell you, even the entrances were I think gave me more chills than Omega and Ospreay because you had obviously
You had the moment.
Both of them. Yeah. I mean, and obviously we're not as big of fans of New Japan as what we were 5 years ago.
No, but I've watched enough of Okada to know
what
whoever is on the other side of that ring from him, that it's gonna be a special match.
Exactly. I mean,
dude,
him coming out and
he's another one.
Bills dropping from the rafters, and it just he is big match feel every single time. It's what he is, whether people like him or not.
He's got the Omega factor, where they're almost in a fucking weird spot where like I don't care about the storyline, just get me to the match.
Yeah,
like that. It's a weird fucking place to be in. And normally that's not a recipe for success, but they're special attractions.
And even Bryan coming out to the final countdown, throwback to Ring of Honor, like that was really cool. That was really cool.
Tony Khan will throw money at the weirdest fucking. These bands are probably like, why the fuck is this guy calling me up? Why does he?
They asked him in the presser afterwards, Tony Khan. They asked him if this was a one-time thing or like you're going to use it on special occasions or what. He said, no, this is definitely a one-time thing. He said that check was more than a lot of the guys in the back's contract. That's how much he had to pay for Final Countdown.
They got they had to probably pay. They probably had to pay them, and who was using that for their fucking commercial? Wasn't it a Geico or something? When he was sitting at the microwave and the Final Countdown came on?
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right.
These guys are just raking in fucking money for the Final Countdown.
Yeah, Europe's just sitting there, use that. Yep, you can use it.
One of the most hated songs of all time. And they're just raking in the fucking cash.
By the way, I know because you didn't see every point of the matches. There was a point where Bryan's in the corner and he takes his finger and he goes like this and he does the yes with the crowd, which is the first time since he left WWE he's done that, and that gave me chills. Just him acknowledging the crowd and doing the yes, I was like, that's really cool. Like that's really, really cool.
Yeah, but you bring that out at special occasions too. It makes it mean more. Like because when he was doing it at WWE, like it was just like his taunt. It was his he hulked up when he started pointing the fingers up in the air.
And that's what he was doing. He was in the corner, Okada was down, and he like looked around the audience. It was like the audience knew he was gonna do it. Like which we all know he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't do it. So we
know who he used to be.
Yeah, but like as soon as
they were.
As soon as he starts going like this, the crowd was ready. And they on cue, as soon as he put his finger up, they yelled yes. And I was like, that's so cool. Like, imagine being him in that moment. Like, A, Final Countdown, and then B, doing the yes. Like, the two biggest things he's known for in wrestling other than what he's doing. And it's just like, that's so cool. It's so cool. Wrestling can be really, really cool at certain moments. And stuff like that is why we are fans, because those kind of tight moments.
Yeah. Very relatable.
It's just it was as advertised. It was a very, very good pay-per-view.
Dude, it's a pay-per-view that's supposed to be. Whenever you do a too big promotion, cross promotion, you have to give it You have to put the best out there. You have to put that's just what you do, and that's what they did. Kudos to them.
Yeah.
Now, back to the drawing board and get these fucking storylines in order. Make them make sense. Give them time to fucking breathe.
Because you got 2 back-to-back pay-per-views.
I still don't. Somehow I still think you're wrong. I just do.
Look up the dates. I'm telling you.
I don't want to.
1 week after another.
Dude, it's so fucking weird.
I don't get it.
There is no time to fucking prep. You almost have to have 2 completely different shows. It almost has to be like a fucking Collision pay-per-view and a fucking
Dynamite pay-per-view.
A Dynamite pay-per-view. That's almost what it's got to be.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I don't get the logic behind booking.
That's gonna be fucking wild.
If they think I'm spending pay-per-views.
If they think I'm spending 50 and 50, no fucking way. Well, one, theirs is going to be fucking in the afternoon too.
Yeah, it would have to be in Wembley. Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll probably run that at 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll probably do the pre-show at 2, 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, the buy-in.
Yeah. Oh my god. That means you get the Battle Royal, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It is a interesting time in wrestling. There's a lot going on.
I did before we wrap up. I did want to touch on, like we said, the reason that we did not watch Forbidden Door live. So we were obviously Fight with 2 T's. Obviously, even though Joe wants people to pay for the spoilers and he will give them out, we won't be spoiling or saying anyone who ended up winning or anything because we want you to.
We do know.
Obviously, we know. We want you to enjoy it as it comes on the weekly episodes. But for those who either did not come or haven't got a chance to see it yet, any of the season.
The season, but you're definitely not going to get a chance yet to see what we saw.
No,
we know who the champions are.
Fight Pro live it's. I mean, if you watch on IWTV these past 3 episodes that they've done, because they just released the 3rd one last night, being Tuesday. It's just something. It's familiar, but it's new. If that makes any sense, like it's very, very familiar, but it's just God. There's decisions.
I like what they have going on.
It's
after watching it live, I love what they're developing.
And not only that, the thing I like the most about the both cards, the decisions and the finishes of matches, they're all different. Like there's constantly something that is happening in a decision or a finish that you're not expecting. You're not getting 3 pinfalls, 1, 2, 3, and match after match. Like you're not getting that. You're getting a disqualification. Maybe you're getting someone who used all their violations. Like there are things that they pull out, and there were a couple times during decisions in both tapings where me and Joe watch a finish and go, "What? Wait, how that match ended like that? Like completely took us by surprise. Wasn't expecting it." So like it's one of those things where you're not going to expect. It's not going to be typical pro wrestling finish to where it's, oh, well, pinfall, pinfall, pinfall. We'll throw a submission in, pinfall, pinfall. Like, it's not like that. There's something different every match. You're not getting cookie cutter matches. And the young talent is up and coming is amazing. There's a lot of, like, obviously the names like CD and Rhett, he did. But
he promised that he's going to highlight and try and create new stars, and I really like what he's doing with that.
Yes, yeah, big time. A lot of the younger people who were on those cards impressed. They were really, really fun to watch, and
some of them even got some character to them.
Yes, there are some very good characters. Very good. Yeah. So, like we said, we've been promoting this for a little over a month now.
I'm glad we did. I'm glad we went this way. It was good.
Yeah.
It did something right.
So, and now we have season 2 to look forward to. Obviously, we still have a bunch of episodes still to air. We got 10 more episodes because 3 are already out. So we have 10 episodes to enjoy, and then we'll have season 2. We'll see how long it takes for season 2 to start. But yeah, it should be very, very entertaining, to say the least.
I'm just hoping they start running an air-conditioned
That's true.
place.
That's true. Yeah.
As they get into the dog days of summer, that's going to be miserable.
Monster Factory, it was hot. It was hot. Yeah.
Once the beads of sweat started to go down the old stomach and back, it was game over.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to be in the ring under the lights.
Wanted to be in the ring.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we covered everything, right?
I think we did good. I think we did real good.
Okay. Not well, real good.
No, we did real good.
Okay. So I guess until next week, we hope you enjoy Money in the Bank, and we'll be talking to you very soon.